A very good day to all of you from Amit Kumar Mehta. Today we'll be discussing an important topic from your MBA semester 1 point of view, which is evolution of management thought. This topic is very important because we have to understand that management as a subject is 100 years old and how this particular subject has been evolving and what are the latest frontiers in management. Now, if you would understand, the primary pursuit of business, the primary pursuit of the human race has always been to find out effective and efficient solutions to the problems that exist. If you look at the history from the beginning of hunter-gatherers family that we were, ancestors that we were, to the tribal life horticulture where we used to just eat fruits and vegetables that used to grow on trees, then to agriculture and craftsmanship, then to scientific management, then to competitive management. Throughout the entire process, we have been trying to research, we have been trying to find out what is the best way, the shortest way, the most efficient and the most effective way for all our management problems, for all our general day problems. So that is how evolution of management has also happened over these years. A lot of research has happened in the last 100 years, and a lot of research will keep on happening in the coming thousands of years, because human race just wants to be better than what it was yesterday. So that is the primary goal behind evolution of management, and that is how management has evolved. Now, if you look at it, we can divide the particular management thought into 4 to 5 perspectives. The first one is the classical perspective. Classical basically means something which is old, something which is stable, something that is fixed. Then we move on to behavioral aspects that was started in the years 1925. Then we moved on to quantitative aspects, perspective of management. Then we had systems approach and contingency approach. These are the two new forms of management approaches. Now, if you look at evolution of management thought from another perspective, we can call it into pre-scientific management period. That was a period before 1900. Then we had the classical theories coming in the 1910-1920 period. Then we had neoclassical theory, which was a certain modification in the classical theories that happened in the 1930s, 1940s, 1950s. And then we had the modern theories of management coming into the picture since the 1950s. So this is how the evolution of management thought has happened over the years. I will quickly look at how things have happened with respect to the various specific management styles. Systematic management was there prior to 1900, that is basically during the Industrial Revolution era. When Industrial Revolution happened because the people of the world suddenly moved from agriculture and craftsmanship to suddenly setting up industries and increasing the production rate at a very high rate. Now, when that happened, there was a need for again to become efficient and effective in that particular production that was happening, and therefore scientific management came into picture in the 1900 when Ford started manufacturing cars and industries started setting up across the world with the use of power, with the use of electricity, and with the use of machines. Then suddenly the production zoomed up at a very high rate, and that is why people had to find out new ways, and people found at that point of time scientific management of a great help. It helped increase the efficiency, it helped increase the effectiveness of all the industrial production that was happening. But there was some problem in scientific management, and therefore they moved on to bureaucratic management. Then they had administrative management in the 1920s. Then 1930s they realized that there is a problem once again. They researched, they found out what is the best way of doing it, and they moved on to human relations. Then we had the quantitative management, then organizational behavior, then systems theory, then contingency theory, and the present one that we are doing is current and future revolutions that will happen, and these particular theories will again come in the form of studies for future generation students. Now, classical approaches, that is 1900 to 1920, the classical approaches were scientific management. Frederick Taylor and Henry Fayol were the two principal people who gave these particular theories. Then we had the bureaucratic management by Max Weber. And these are the theories, the classical theories, most of which, the concept of which are still live in many of the organizations that you will find. Bureaucratic management, the entire of Indian government and entire of the world government happens on a bureaucratic setup. That was given by Max Weber 100 years ago, approximately 100 years ago. So these classical theories have lasted the test of times, but there were problems in the classical theory, and because of the problems, people had to move on to the other theories, which were behavioral theories. Behavioral theories basically focused on the behavior of individuals, that just treating human beings as a machine, as an element of production cannot give you good results. You have to look at the behavior of people. You have to find out what motivates him. You have to find out how to motivate your workforce so that you can increase the efficiency and effectiveness of the particular production that you are doing, the operations that you are doing. And then we moved on to modern approaches, which were basically quantitative methods, systems approach, contingency model, situational approach, or theory Z. So these are the various approaches that have happened. Now quickly moving on to some of the classical approaches to various approaches. The first one is classical approach to management. Basically they were under the impression that people are rational, people are economical in nature, people have physical needs, and for satisfying those physical needs, people will do their best, give their 100%, give their efficiency 100% in any of the jobs that they are given to. The primary three management theories that were propounded during this particular time, 1900 to 1920, was scientific management, administrative principles, and bureaucratic organization. Frederick Taylor, Henry Fayol, and Max Weber were the people who were there giving these particular theories. Now, classical approach of management professes the body of management thought based on the belief that employees have only economical and physical needs, and that their social needs and need for job satisfaction either does not exist or is not important. So at that point it was only focusing on the economic and physical needs of the workers, not on any of their social needs or job satisfaction. Job satisfaction was not in question. The point was 100 years ago that if somebody had got a job, that was more than enough for him. There was no concept of job satisfaction as you find it today. Accordingly, it advocated a high specialization of labor, centralized decision making, and profit maximization. So that was the particular thought process at that point of time. Now, what are the limitations of the classical approach? Why did we stop using classical approach beyond a certain point of time? Why did we move on to the other management thought processes? First one was classical approach was applicable only for stable and simple organization. If the organization structure was different, if it was not a formal structure, it will not work. For many of the companies in today's time, you have a flat structure, you have an informal structure of operating. For these kind of companies, this classical approach will not work. Now, classical approach also treated its employees as elements versus resources. Now we talk about human resources. Human resources management is what we talk about in today's date. But earlier, at that point of time, 100 years back, they were treated as elements of production. That was a very mechanistic framework, and they were under the impression at that point of time in classical management that employees have economic and physical needs only. There is no need for job satisfaction. There is no need for socially mixing up and getting impressed or depressed by your society or the immediate friends and colleagues you have at work. So that concept was not there. Now there was always a failure in classical approach to understand that informal organizations or informal relations happen inside of organizations which impact the work life of an individual, work life of a worker too inside of organizations, and that is where behavioral approach came into being. Scientific management did not always lead to productive workforce because of boredom and repetition. Because we talked about in the classical approach, they were based on scientific management thought. So what they did, they kept on asking the worker to keep on doing a job again and again. They thought that efficiency will improve because of it. But because of that particular problem, it led to boredom and repetition of a particular job. Now, Harvard professor Elton Mayo did a particular study. In the behavioral approach period, he did a particular study which lasted 10 years. And after that, even the best of the best colleges in the world, Harvard colleges and its research team joined this particular study to help understand the businesses, to help the industrialists, to help the people who had invested a lot of money into companies and industries and manufacturing units understand how to increase production, because production beyond a certain point was not increasing, because human beings were treated as elements. Now, if you look at the particular simile that I keep on providing, imagine a lemon. You can squeeze the lemon only beyond a certain point of time. After that, it starts tasting sour. It will have a bad taste in your mouth. So you cannot squeeze human beings also like mechanistic machines. That was the problem with classical management, that they were not treating human beings as human beings. There was no consideration for motivation, there was no consideration for behavior, there was no consideration for leadership and pampering those employees of yours. So those were creating a lot of problems. So a study was done by Elton Mayo for 10 long years, and then he came to certain conclusions about human behavior, and that is where the behavioral approach of management came into being. Now this video is going to be a long one, so we will be curtailing it into part 1, part 2 and part 3 if possible. So I'll be ending this particular video. You can watch the rest of the video in the next particular video. Thank you.